Hi everyone, I hope you're well and that you're moving nicely these days. Today we're going to focus on a little sequence that is connected with the balance of our upper body. So because of the nature of our jobs these days and the way we live our lives, we tend to be a little tight across the chest area, the front of the shoulders into the pecs. And due to that tightness here, we tend to be a little weaker in the back. So because this is shortening, the back area is opening and extending, and because of that then we don't have enough strength in the muscles. They kind of get a little switched off. The muscles of the back tend to switch off a little bit, and they're not recruited properly when we do strength work. So we want to get this area to open and create space in the front of our bodies so that when we do strength work, that we can actually get these muscles to work, to fire up, to switch on, and that there'll be a balance for our posture. So our head will be higher, our chest will be open, the breath will go deeper, and we'll have a good awareness of how we hold our bodies anyway, a little bit more awareness, okay? So we're going to start just very simply with the usual, the head positioning. So like you want to feel like the top of your head is being drawn up to the ceiling and your tailbone is being drawn down. So just lengthen your spinal column all the way from the tailbone up to above your head. You draw the shoulder blades down your back and you just gently draw your chin down to your chest. You nod your head and then you look forward and you lift up. And I know we do this regularly. And there's a reason why we do it regularly. It's because it's very beneficial. So do your head nods. Do this throughout the day as best you can. Okay, then you bring it back to center. You look over one shoulder. You stretch out the side of the neck. You center it. You look over the other side. You pay attention to what the sensations are on each side of the neck. You're trying to create length all the way through. Every move you make, and you're breathing into every move. Bring it back to center, draw the ear to the shoulder and let your head rotate side to side. You can go the full way around into a full circle, but make sure if you do that, that you are not compressing the back of the neck. So personally, I just like to do side over the shoulder, chin to your chest, and then over the opposite shoulder. You can do a little look over the shoulder, and down and look over the shoulder. So you can do that as many times as you want and just feel the sort of length being gained along the side of the neck. Okay, so rolling your shoulders here, and we want to try and create space again in the neck area. Float the arms forward, drop the shoulders down. Okay, so we want to start mobilizing the shoulder area and warming up to these the muscular structures here of the shoulder capsule. Okay, so reach your shoulders forward, drawing the shoulder blades away from each other. And elevate the shoulders, then draw them back, and then lower them down. Okay? So reach forward, elevate up, draw them back, and lower them down. Then reverse that. Reverse, draw the shoulder blades back into each other, elevate up, reach forward, and lower down. Just do one more for me. Again. You could do this as many times as you want throughout the day. Okay? Release the arms. Roll your shoulders here. Lengthen through the spine. Take one arm up, reach it up as you reach the opposite arm down. Bring it back to center, then change. Now we've been through this in other sequences, but I'm just reminding you that everything is connected, and if I want to balance out my upper body, I can't just think of stretching the chest. I have to think of waking up to the lats, of waking up to the triceps, so that you get more freedom in your movement. Okay? Now 2 arms here, drop the shoulders down, float the 2 arms up, turn the palms forward, and then release the arms out. Inhale up and exhale. Reaching your fingers to each side of the room so that you really want to feel space here across the chest and out to the fingertips. Release it down. And as you do this, try and again pay attention to the back. So try and pay attention to what's happening with the shoulder blades. You're allowing them to sink in towards the ribs. So in other words, the head of the shoulder is not falling forward. You sink your shoulder blades down your back. And open wide. One more. And open, reach, 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 and release it down. Take your hands to the back of the head, and then draw the elbows back. So again, opening the chest. And this is one that you can sort of use as a measurement, as a guide to see how you're improving over the days or weeks as you do this. So some of you might be extremely tight here in the chest, and you might be this might be as far as you go. And then over time, when you repeat the sequence of moves, or when you try and get any of the stretches done, you might feel, okay, I can get a little bit more space here. I can open my elbows a little bit wider. And also you can use this to help strengthen through the back. So focus on getting the shoulder blades to draw in and down. Okay? So again, those ones are simple. You can do them sitting down, standing up. You can do them anytime throughout the day. So the next one we're going to do is just going to involve, it's a door frame started stretch. But I don't have a door here, but I have a wall that's perfectly fine. So I'm taking my hand and I'm holding on to the edge of the wall, the outer edge. My fingers are wrapped around. And I lengthen my arm, and then I pivot my body so I'm facing into the middle of, into the room. So I'm not sort of facing towards the frame. I'm turning my body so I'm facing away from it. And I let my upper body sort of lean forward a little bit, so the weight of my body is helping to open the front of the deltoid here and into the pecs. Okay, and then I can adjust it. I can take the hand a little higher. I can take it higher. Don't take it too high that the upper back area is taking the tension or the tightness. You want to create space here. Always think of opening up here the front of the body here, the front of the chest. And then if you want to change it slightly, you can stand upright and then turn your palm up so the arm is long. The side of the hand is just pressing gently against the wall, and you use your own sense of awareness as into how much pressure you put into this. So don't push so hard that the elbow is feeling the stress. Feel it up here in the chest. And you can take it up a little higher. So just having this is an external rotation of the arm. This is internal. This is external. So we want the external rotation so that it helps open here. Internal rotation is closing the front head of the shoulder inwards. We want to open that out so that there's a stretch. The pec minor is getting a little deeper stretch here, a little bit more awakening here in this area. Breathe into that. So play around with that. And again, obviously, do both sides. And obviously don't feel it on your arm, on your elbows or your wrists. Feel it more up across there. So you've done all those now, and we're going to take it to, we're going to use a little prop. So I have a strap here. This is a yoga strap. You don't have to have a yoga strap. If you have a towel, if you have a belt or a tie is always ideal. So you take your strap and you have your arms nice and wide. Okay, and you take your arms up and you bring your arms back. Then you just move through the cycle. So a lot of people might do it without a strap and just rotate their arms. And that's okay, but if you look at the movement of my arm, I'm going into the midline, so I'm not really stretching it as well as I should. Now I do take it out wide when I come back, but the awareness may not be there. So when you have a strap, you can feel it, you can see the distance of your arms, and you can make alterations as you go along. So you roll back and you come forward. Inhale in and exhale, and watch as you move the arms that you're not flaring to the wrists. You're not dropping and rolling. You're not moving the upper body. The upper body stays still. The movement is coming from the shoulder down, from the shoulder capsule. So as you get better at this or become more free in your movement, you can bring your arms a little bit narrower so that you'll feel the stretch a little bit more. But if you bring them too narrow and you end up sort of going like this to get the strap over, you've lost the essence of it. So you pay attention to what it feels like. You make it easier if you need to, and then you increase the movement or the level as you become more familiar with it. So bring your arms up if you can. Get to a point where you feel, oh, there's a nice stretch, and hang here for a little bit. Again, watch the rib cage, that is not popping out. Watch that your elbows are not taking too much pressure, so you're opening through the front of your chest. And you breathe through it. Keep the core firm and keep the legs strong. Again, you can do this sitting down. Bring the arms up and bring the arms down. Release the shoulders here. So do that as many times as you feel that it's making a difference for you, but never force, okay? So that's the end of the strap. And now we're going to take it to the floor. So we're just going to bring ourselves down onto our hands and knees. And we're, you know, as I said earlier, everything is connected. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. So you want to try and create as much movement in your body as you can. So I'm just going to do a little cat-cow, and we've done this many times before. So I'm going to allow the tailbone to curl under, downwards, and my spine to open up. So lengthening through the spinal column, waking up through the back of the body and allowing my head to lower. So allow the weight of the head to help stretch the neck. Spreading the shoulder blades. Really trying to feel space there. And then start with your tailbone. Allow your tailbone to lift up. Allow your belly to lower. Allow your rib cage, the front of your ribs to lower. Allow your sternum to draw forward. And this is where we're trying to open the chest here a little bit. We draw the shoulder blades down. And imagine that I have a hook on my sternum here and I'm drawing it forward. So there's a space being created. The shoulder blades are, as I said, down the back. The neck is looking, the head is looking forward, the neck is long. And then you bring it back to neutral. So here's your neutral, and you hollow out your core. And we're going to do a very cool movement. We're going to lift up onto our toes. Again, you don't have to do it this way, but you know, we might as well put a little bit of work into the situation. I'm pressing through my arms, and I'm hollowing out the core as I just take one hand up and I pivot myself around. So my feet are now on the floor. So this, and I'm facing upwards. So this is a tabletop position. And if you pay attention to the way my arms are, the fingers are pointed to the side edge of the mat, and I'm lifting the back of my body upwards. So I'm actively working my glutes. So I'm actively working the glutes. I'm actively working the back to push myself up to the ceiling. So this is a chest opener, but it's also a back strengthener. Okay, and this is important to remember. When we are working to stretch something, we need to create strength. Okay, so don't think you just stretch. You have to create strength as well. So this is your sort of straightforward level. You know, you don't have to lift so high if you're not ready, but try not to sort of collapse here through the front end of the shoulder. You want to broaden the chest, lift up. Imagine there's a hook here pulling you up, and a hook here on each hip pulling you up. If you feel you can extend the legs away. That's a little bit more challenging because the legs are longer, of course. You can point your toes down or you can point the toes up. Lift, and if you feel you can lift one leg up. Now that's a little bit more again. Obviously your options are you don't have to go this far, you can work it to suit you. And then you bring your feet back in and you release your hips down. And you bring your body up and you roll your shoulders here. Shake out the hands. If the wrists are tired, rotate the wrists. Bring yourself down to the floor, laying your spine down. Allow your back to rest down, and then you turn yourself facing the side edge of the mat. And we're going to go into a book opener. I'll just see if there's enough space. So when you're lying here, your hips are stacked, your knees are stacked, 90-degree angle here. You can put a book or a towel between your knees if you want, just so that you feel that they stay in touching to each other. The head, if you're here, sometimes the neck can get quite tired. So you can, I'm not so bad resting it on the floor, but if you feel uncomfortable, you bring a towel and you prop yourself up. So whatever feels best for you. Now this shoulder underneath might be up here a little bit. Just try and slide it down a little bit. It may still come up, but that's just the nature of the position. But try and get yourself as comfortable here in the neck area as possible, so you're not straining in that point. Taking your top arm and lay it on your bottom, the top hand on the bottom hand. So now the top shoulder is, you're trying to create length in the neck. The top arm, the top hand reaches beyond the fingers of the bottom hand, which is resting on the floor. And then you slide your top hand back in along the lower arm, slide it across the chest, and then allow it to lower to the floor behind you. Your hips are still stacked up as best you can. Your gaze can look over that hand, over towards that hand if you want. Trying to create heaviness in this shoulder so that the shoulder blade is drawing down towards the floor. Now don't force it, because if you force it, you're only going to end up tightening even more. So allow that just to hang and let gravity do the work. So the position is just releasing the tension. Then if you can, you bring your arm up, float it. Imagine there's a heavy substance that you're pushing it against. So it's not through air. You're trying to create a little bit of resistance as you move the arm. And this time changing it slightly. Again, you lift, lengthen and lift. Let your eyes follow the hand. And let the head turn as the arm comes down. And let it hang here for a little bit. And you could do this like 3 or 4 times. When you get a little bit more space here, you know, your body becomes familiar with it, you can bend this arm here. Let the elbow rest on the floor as best you can. That's going to create a little bit more of a stretch. And then if possible, you slide that arm, the fingers towards the doorway or the wall behind you, with the elbow trying to connect with the floor. So the elbow drawing downwards is really going to open that chest a little bit more for you. Okay, so again, hang here for maybe half a minute, 30 seconds or so, just allowing the weight of the body to sink into the floor. And then bring your elbow back in line with your shoulder, extend your arm and bring your arm up. And then we're just going to change sides. So we're going to roll over to the opposite side. And again, the head can be propped up. And if you want a thicker pillow, if you feel more comfortable with a bigger cushion underneath your head, go for it. Okay, so just have yourself as comfortable as you can. And again, showing you from this side, stack your hips, knees stacked. Slide your hand, bring it across, allow the elbow to lift, allow the hand to slide across your chest, and then allow the arm to open and let your gaze follow the hand. And if your head turning that far is too much, you just look upwards. Don't force anything. So always understand the body will adapt when the movement is done regularly. But if you expect it to pick it up really quick and straight away, it's not gonna happen. You have to, if it's new to your body takes time. Give it a chance, okay? It will learn with practice and with patience. So now take the arm up. Imagine you're going through a heavy substance. Bring your arm across and down. Stabilize the shoulders and then open up again. Lift up and across and across and across and across, and you're down. Bend the elbow here if you feel you can. And then extend your arm a little bit so the elbow is resting on the floor as best you can. And the hand is extending towards the wall beyond your head. And again, the weight of the arm is helping to open up this pec area, the pectoral muscles, and the front of the deltoid. So you can understand if you have tightness in the chest area and you are lifting weights, you're doing a lot of training in the gym, and you're tight in the chest, it's very hard to get a good balanced workout, because the tight muscles are going to start tightening even more. So you want to get this area to open up a little bit so that you can really get a good, proper, balanced workout for your upper body. Bending the elbow here, releasing the arm, and bring the arm back over, and then lie onto your back. So now we're going to take it into what we call a back widow, which is strengthening for the back. So we're lying here with our legs stretched out, our body is relaxed into the floor, and I bend my elbows, okay? So when I bend my elbows here, I'm going to start pressing the back of my arms into the floor, and I'm going to start actively working through the glutes and the back. The full back line of the body is going to work here, because if it doesn't, I won't be able to lift. So all the way up to the back of my arms as well. So I want to breathe in, and then as I exhale, I lift. So I lift and I press my arms down. My shoulder blades are drawing down my back and into each other. My glutes are active. The front line is opening as I strengthen through my back. I release it down. I take a breath, and I can do you can do this again a few times. Inhale here and exhale, press again. You can do this standing up as well. It's in another sequence that we did where you do it against the wall, but really press your arms into the floor now. It's hard work. Inhale, exhale. Squeeze the glutes as strongly as you can, and then exhale as you release it down. Bend the knees here, and then hug your knees into your chest. Turn your head side to side. Allow the back of your neck to release. Hands on your knees, release your back here. Just rotating, and then take it to the opposite side. Hug your knees in, roll yourself up into sitting position, allow your spine to stretch in this way. Allow the shoulder blades to relax. Then bring your body up, roll yourself over onto your hands. And then we're going to lower ourselves down towards the floor. We're taking it into baby cobra. So again, we're opening all the way up to the front. Okay, breathing into this. So just get a little stretch here. Let the pelvis be heavy and the legs be heavy on the floor. And then I release my chest down. I bring my hands back, and I'm taking it into a little lift here where my hands are on the floor, but I lift my body and then I lift my hands. My gaze is downward, so I'm not looking forward. I look down slightly. Elbows are drawing in. Belly is drawing in. Pull your belly in tight. Look down to the floor. Get the shoulder blades and the elbows to pull. The elbows are pulling into each other and down towards your hips. And then I extend my arms. Now you can stay here, or you can rest your head down, or you can rest your head onto a towel or a prop, whichever you prefer. But if you can, you extend, lengthen your arms, turn the thumbs upwards. So the palms are facing out. And then I extend my arms in line with my ears, and then I turn the thumbs down, and I pull the arms back. So again, imagine that you're swimming through a heavy substance, and you want to try and put a little bit of resistance. And there's an extension through your arms. You try and really reach and lengthen, and breathe, lift yourself. So the back of the body is working here. If you're doing this and your arms are underneath, then the chest is really tight. So I would suggest you lower your head and do it so that the arms are in line with your ears more or less, because if they're below that line, the chest is, the front of the deltoid is working again and the chest is working, whereas we want this side of the body to do the work. So pull the arms back, lift, link your fingers into each other, and then draw the arms, the knuckles down. Pull your belly in and then lengthen your legs if you want to lift your legs. So now the front of the body is lengthening as the back of the body is strengthening. Okay, so really reach, lift, inhale, exhale. 2 breaths. And then exhale, release it down. Take your hands by your ribs, push up to your arms, and just stretch out that back area there. And allow that back to stretch. Walk your hands to the side. Bring it back to center and walk it to the other side. Again, just trying to always think of creating space so that strength can be gained. If you have tension in a muscle, you can't strengthen it. So we need to open it out, prepare it for some proper strength work. Bring it back to center. Bring your body up, roll your shoulders here. To your hands to the floor, curl your toes under, lift up. Walk your feet forward, walk your hands back, whichever you prefer. Rebuild your spine. Standing nice and tall. Straighten up the arms. Take your 2 arms up. Turn the arms, release, reach. So, the thing to remember is you don't have to do all the sequence in the same time, in the one go. You can take a piece, put it in the morning, put it in the evening, whenever you want to do it. Movement is key, especially if you're sitting at a computer all day, and when stress, a combination of things come together, like stress, working really hard, and whatever it is. We as as people tend to hold a lot of stuff inside. We want to release the body so that we can create strength. And when we have strength, we feel better in every way. Okay? So keep moving, stay strong, and enjoy the workouts. Okay? So take one breath in, extend, reach, reach forward, reach back. Until the next time. Thanks.